Christmas time is here. With Little Things we got the very first true Christmas song from ABBA, but they were always very close to that time of year, and today I want to give a general overview of the many projects they have done related to Christmas. Hey, so the members of ABBA began early with their journey to Christmas music. It all started in 1967 when Benny gave us an entire Christmas album with his band. Yule mit Hepstars, Christmas with the Hepstars really captures the joy and easygoing way of how the Hepstars were doing music. There are humorous takes of traditional Christmas songs like their version of Jingle Bells, which they sing in high-pitched vocals as if they inhaled helium, but there are also very serious and atmospheric pieces like the final three songs, which were recorded in a church with Benny playing the church organ. One of these songs is the traditional Swedish Christmas song Nu tändas tusen juleljus, which would become quite a staple in our journey through Christmas with ABBA, which we will talk more about later. Stilla natt is another of these church songs and one of my personal highlights, and two other favorites are Christmas Today and Christmas on My Mind, which was released as a single. In fact, Benny said at the time that he had written 3 or 4 brand new songs for this album, but none of them would be included, probably never recorded in the first place, and as far as I know we don't know what happened to those compositions. But there was another successful group of guys in Sweden at the time, and those were the Hootenanny Singers with no other than Björn. Their first contribution to Christmas came in the following year with a very nice rendition of Mary's Boy Child on their album 5 år, 5 years, and that song would become very famous in the 70s by Bonnie M. The back cover of the Hootenanny Singers album showed a very young Björn Ulvaeus. In 1972, the Hootenanny Singers would return to Christmas music and record 2 songs for a very special album, which is probably one of the big highlights in this overview. This was a Christmas album for Polar Music, a label which was founded by ABBA's manager Stig Andersson and later became ABBA's label. The album was produced by Björn and Benny together with Stig and brings together many of the artists from Polar Music from the time, and amongst those were not only the Hootenanny Singers but also Lina Andersson, who would work together with Björn and Benny several times and would also become ABBA's backing vocalist on their 1977 tour, and we also have Svenne Hedlund from the Hepstars, Sonja Stjernquist and Arne Lambert. Each artist contributed 2 songs, but the biggest highlight, there is no doubt about that, is that we also have Frida on this album, and she provides incredible performances with warmth and tenderness, just absolutely perfect to get into the Christmas spirit. In 1991, Frida would actually sing a beautiful a cappella version of one of the songs on a Swedish television program. Back to 1972, this was also the year, of course, that our 4 heroes got together to release their very first music as a group, and at the end of the year, we already got their first Christmas-themed project, an amazing photo session that was taken at Björn's and Agneta's place in Vallentuna. During the course of the decade, we got several bits and pieces of Christmas music and greetings from ABBA as a group. Björn and Benny played Jingle Bells on TV in 1976 and 77, but 2 of the greatest highlights was a radio performance by Agneta and Frida together, singing the Swedish Christmas song Nu tändas tusen juleljus on Radio Luxembourg in 1978. And there was a second song, the German Christmas song that is known as Silent Night, which Agneta performed together with a young girl by the name of Anke Engelke, who would become a famous German actress, comedian and host for television. International audience might have seen her as a co-host for the Eurovision Song Contest 2011. But in 1978, she was at the start of her career and just another ABBA fan singing together with Agneta on radio. The other highlight came in the following year when Frida performed Silent Night on Swedish radio, this time not in German but in Swedish, and accompanied by Benny on synthesizer. You should be able to find all of these recordings here on YouTube. In 1979, ABBA released I Have a Dream, and together with Happy New Year, these would be the 2 ABBA songs most associated with Christmas until we now got Little Things. Of course, over the years they also recorded many spoken word greetings, too many to go into detail here, but one of them was for the Dutch TV show Top Up in 1976, where we also see them failing at the first attempt.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A very happy new year.
And we also have 2 Christmas greetings that were released on flexi-disc in 1979 and 1982. And then, of course, there are several Christmas-themed shows or videos that ABBA were a part of. On the Mike Yarwood Christmas show in 1978, They performed 2 special versions of Thank You for the Music and If It Wasn't for the Nights, but also a Christmas greeting that would be broadcast on Top of the Pops. That same winter, in early 1979, we also got the snowy scenery in the TV special ABBA in Switzerland and the Chiquitita music video, and another snowy scenery from 2 years earlier also characterizes the music video for Knowing Me, Knowing You, but also the single artwork, which was taken from another wintry photo session in 1976, with many amazing photographs that showed ABBA behind a snowy window. In 1980, they drew Christmas pictures for the German magazine Bravo, and 1 year later, their final Christmas-themed bit together for the next 40 years was a Scandinavian Christmas song recorded for German radio. Strictly speaking, this really was the first and only genuine Christmas song recorded by all 4 members together, until Little Things. In the same year, Agneta released a Christmas solo album, which not only featured her daughter Linda, but it was produced by Agneta herself, together with Michael Vitretto, and also features many players of ABBA's studio band. One of the songs of my 2 personal favorites is the same song that Frida recorded almost a decade earlier for that Polar Christmas album. Agneta's album was actually recorded in November 1980, but postponed and released 1 year later in October 1981, so that, according to German magazine Bravo, it wouldn't have any effect on the sales of the Super Trooper album. And that would be it for the next few years. We wouldn't see any true Christmas-related projects for the next decade. In 1992, Benny played through an entire 1-hour Christmas show on Swedish TV together with his new folk friends from Åsa Spellman. They performed traditional Christmas songs, also with other artists, and some of his own compositions. The only other Christmas-related song in the 90s was on Björn and Benny's musical Kristina från Duvemåla, with that particular song being set on Christmas morning. Frida returned to music in 2004 with The Sun Will Shine Again, that she recorded together with the late John Lord, and it was on the occasion of one of her TV appearances in Germany that she also recorded the first verse for In the Bleak Midwinter, which was part of the Christmas Experiment, a compilation of music and Christmas songs with John Lord, a choir and an orchestra. Apparently, Frida decided it spontaneously, and the vocals were pre-recorded in the studio. A year later, Benny released a mobile ringtone for the Swedish Red Cross campaign. The song was called Red Christmas, and it is this melody that would be resurrected for the final children's choir piece in ABBA's Little Things. In 2010, together with Björn, Benny also wrote a wonderful pop-oriented piece called Merry Christmas, My Friend, and was recorded by the staff of his Hotel Rivel. Björn and Benny also generously share regular Christmas greetings for social networks over the years, one of the highlights being their vocal rendition of Silent Night in 2009 for Ice the Side, as well as 2 recordings of Jingle Bells by Benny, one on accordion and one on synthesizer. The only full-length Christmas albums by any of the ABBA members were the ones from the Hepstars and Agneta, but in 2012 it basically came full circle with Benny's other band, Benny Andersson's Orchestra, when they released their Christmas album. My personal highlight is the final song, Nytändas tusen juleljus, and I mentioned it in the beginning, it is this song that really became quite a staple throughout the years. It was one of the church organ pieces by the Hepstars on their album, it was recorded by the Hootenanny Singers for that Polar Christmas album, and it was this song, after all, that was recorded by Agneta and Frida together for Radio Luxembourg. Of course, Agneta's Christmas album is titled after the name of the song and included on it, and the song was one of the many numbers played by Benny on that Christmas TV show in 1992, and now on Bau's album again. Now let's wrap it up nicely. I mentioned Little Things in the beginning and midway through, and here we are in the present. ABBA is back with their first Christmas song. I talked about the song and music video on this channel, and also about the beautiful and most recent winter and Christmas themed ABBA photo, and the brand new incredible video footage we got just this week.
Det brukar bli automatiskt. Står bredvid mina ex.
Ska det inte stå ABBA?
Nej, men det är BABB tycker vi. Babba.
Who would have ever thought that this journey through ABBA's Christmas projects would culminate like that? To everyone who is celebrating, I wish you a Merry Christmas, and to everyone else a wonderful time as well, and I'll see you next week again so we can wrap up the first half of our Voyage series with Just an Ocean. Alright, until then, hey do!